Here we are. The semifinals are over, and we are into the finals. We have the semifinals consisted of two teams. It was Kamish, number 5 seed, versus number 1 seed Indo, and number 3 seed Young Guns versus number 2 seed Teach Me How to Dougie. So we'll get into the number 1 seed in a minute, but before we do that, let's go to the Guns and Dougie matchup. That was really close. Yeah, I know. Score of 78 to 81. Come here, little buddy. Nope, he's not going to come. So, score of 78 to 81. Dougie over Young Guns. It was, a really close match. What we wanted. It was exciting. Was going back and forth for a little bit. The one thing I will say, Cam Newton is just amazing. I mean, he had a tough start in the beginning of the season, but he did pick it up and finish very strong. 38 points, accounting for almost half of the total points scored for Young Guns. But the big news on this one is Antonio Brown, number 1 seed, number 1 first round pick, getting only 2 points because of leaving for injury. I mean, that is brutal. Also, Jordan Howard, his second-round pick overall, only getting 5 points. I mean, that's probably, what is it? That's not his lowest, but I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's a shame. On the Dougie side, Kirk Cousins getting it done every week. 19 points against a really easy Arizona team, but I mean, honestly, who's he throwing to? So, Melvin Gordon doing it really well. 22 points. Big story out of that one is Chargers lost Keenan Allen, I think fairly early in the game. So, Melvin Gordon definitely did pick up the slack there. However, the rest of the team, I mean, Jaguars is the only other player on this team to break double digits of 10 points. It was very respectable. That was a really good defense. However, benched. I mean, Guns left it on the... He actually had the win. Greg Olsen, he picked up to, I'm guessing, start sometime. Greg Olsen came off IR, had a couple slow starts. And actually, I mean, yeah, this was his first week of some type of, not being on the injured report. No one really knew what was going to happen, but I mean, you picked him up. It wasn't like Jack Doyle was really doing much, no. Not really. Tight ends, I will say, tight ends have been a little tough this year. Delaney Walker on the other side just scored 3 more points higher. However, that was the point differential. So, also on Dougie's side, I mean, Bilal Powell, 10 points. I mean, that's solid, especially not for an early rounder. Rashard Matthews, 15 points. I mean, that's really good. And then the Rams D, 17 points, beating up on just a hapeless Seattle Seahawks team. I mean, I know they beat the Eagles, but they have not been looking like a dominant team lately. We will get to the Seattle in a little bit. So, I mean, that was a really exciting game. One that you want from a semifinals. I mean, 3 points difference. It wasn't a blowout, so it looked pretty good. Going over to the Kamish versus the Indo. I mean, Kamish just dominating. 94 points to 79 points on Indo. Leading the way, we'll go to Indo's first. Russell Wilson, second worst output of the year. 12 points. His worst being week 1 of 8 points. I mean, that really didn't help you. Kenyon Drake, he did really well. I mean, he's looking really good against a very easy Buffalo team, but still, I mean, great players get it done against weak teams. Jamal Williams, I mean, everyone kind of saw this coming as Aaron Rodgers was getting back in 3 points. I don't think anyone was really expecting much beyond that. Marshawn Lynch, 8 points. That's solid. Doug Baldwin, 0. So this is, the Seahawks team just died right when you needed them the most. That was a shame. Zach Ertz, 11 points. It looks like the Eagles did not lose anything on offense. Switching from Wentz to Foles. I mean, Wentz is still the better player in my opinion. He looks better. More dangerous, but the entire Eagles offense is deep. It's very strong. The Ravens defense, 20 points. I mean, wow. there was actually a point where I thought I was going to lose. I mean, wow, that's actually not the first time the Ravens defense scored over 20. It happened 1, 2, 3, 4 other times, 20 or more points. So 5 total for the year. That was really good. I'm glad I don't have to face this defense anymore. And then he actually didn't leave anything on the bench. There was nothing that was going to help him out. He just got beat. The dominating team, Commish, doing it with Blake Bortles, bortling his way into the finals with 31 points against Houston's defense. Houston actually has a much better defense than most people give him credit for, but following that up with Le'Veon Bell, 21 points. I mean, he got a lot of work after Antonio Brown went down, so that was to be expected. Lamar Miller, he's just barely getting by. We're seeing a decline in him, but Jacksonville's defense is really good, as we saw on the other side. Dez Bryant, 5 points, not really a number one wide receiver, but he hasn't been all year. Keenan Allen, he got hurt, but after, 50 yards. So his injury doesn't appear to be too serious. He is doing okay, but we don't know if he's going to be back for next week. So that's going to be interesting. Josh Gordon should have had a much better game. Some bad drops, some bad quarterback play. Baltimore is an extremely good defense, as we saw. They got up 20 points on Cleveland. He's going to be an interesting play next week. Charles Clay finally getting points for the tight end position on the Commish's team, who's actually had, I think, 0 points for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Been brutal on tight ends. Saints D, 5 points against a terrible New York Jets team, so that was very underwhelming. But Harrison Butker, one of the best kickers right now, at least in fantasy-wise, 14 points. So, he was getting it done. In terms of bench, you did have some points left on the bench. Juju Smith-Schuster had a great catch and run right at the end. So I think it was like 69 yards, which made up more than half of his total point yards. I'm sorry, he made up more than half of his total points at the end of the week of 11. And then Nelson Aguilar catching that nice TD, going good for 11 points as well. So it'll be interesting. It was a great week all around, a little better for the ones who won it. So week 3, the consolation ladder, these two teams are still not out of it. Guns and Indo are fighting for third place. Third place is 10% of the pool, so that is $90. They're doing really well. Indo is looking as a projected winner of 100 to 90 points. Ezekiel Elliott getting that back is a massive win. Jordy Nelson, hopefully, Minnesota's tough. You're probably not going to get much out of Jordy Nelson with Minnesota. But then again, Aaron Rodgers is magic. So we'll see. Doug Baldwin should be much better than last week. Dallas defense is not that good. Marshawn Lynch, it's probably a good job benching him. Philly's defense hasn't been great these past couple weeks, but is normally strong. Mohamed Sanu for Atlanta, that was a good bench. Russell Wilson, hopefully he finds his magic again. That'll be interesting. Philly and Oakland play on Monday. 8:30. So they have 2 primetime games this year. Guns on the other side, Cam Newton against Tampa Bay. That should be another great performance for him. Jordan Howard should run all over Cleveland. Joe Mixon at Detroit. Joe Mixon home against Detroit. Cincinnati versus Detroit. Cincinnati has just been spiraling. I think they finally announced that Marvin Lewis is not going to be the head coach next year. So they are not playing for anything except, I guess for a job for the next head coach. So that is important. Although a lot of times, especially with running back field of this nature, of this sort, it's most likely the new coach is going to come in with his running back or his star pupil. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with them. They might be really giving it the extra effort for that one. But great matchups on Guns' side. You've got Jervis Allen against the Colts, Alshon Jeffrey against Oakland, Robbie Anderson against the Chargers, Greg Olsen against Tampa Bay. And actually, except for Matt Prater, all of these are home games. So, this is a really good setup. So it'll be interesting. I mean, benching Eagles D for Bears D, I could see that. I mean, Oakland really hasn't been doing much either because you benched Derek Carr. So it'll be interesting. But again, these guys are going for third place, which is your money back plus a little bit, but also Indo was our points hoarder, so he's getting the transaction money as well. But this is really what everyone wants. It's the finals. The Desmond is on the line, plus a cool 60% of the loot. So that is going to be Teach Me How to Dougie. Actually, what's the projection preview? We have Teach Me How to Dougie is projected to win with the stat line of plus 2.7 at 91 points, and the commish is projected to lose at 94 points. So overall, the Dougie has the, well, at least, I mean, ESPN stat line, which we all know is meaningless, but it's just good filler stuff. But, I mean, both teams are very equal. They both ended regular season on win streaks, and of course they won the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, both teams have been on the rise. So, let's look at the 5 seed first, because the number 2 seed gets the special treatment of being the home team. So, Commish is rolling with Blake Bortles. San Francisco has been better, a lot better lately. They've been a really good defense. However, Tennessee did shred them. And Houston before that. And, I mean, Houston is rolling with whoever they feel like at quarterback. So, I mean, there's probably a 20-ish point. Yeah, ESPN has given him 17 points. Le'Veon Bell, I mean, you're going to roll with him no matter what. Lamar Miller at home against Pittsburgh. That's a thinker. I'm not sure. Des Bryant home against Seattle. That's a scary one. Keenan Allen is still in the lineup with a question mark. We'll have to play that one as we go. Fortunately, there are no Thursday games, so we have that. There are Saturday games. So, however, it looks like he can be replaced with either Nelson Aguilar, Kenny Stills, or Josh Gordon. And those are all either Monday or Sunday games. So that can be made. A substitute can be made there. Juju Smith-Schuster against Houston. Remember, we have two Monday night games. Monday night 4:30. Oh, Christmas, yeah. And then also Monday at 8:30. So pay attention to that one. But Juju Smith-Schuster should have a big uptick this week with the absence of Antonio Brown, as well as Lamar Miller. And, I mean, Houston really can't stop anything. So we'll see. Charles Clay is slotted at tight end. I mean, the commission has not really been getting any help at the tight end, so anything is just a bonus at that point. Currently, Saints D against Atlanta, home. That probably will not stay. We'll see. Ben Harrison Butker home against Miami. I mean, he's the number 1. Is he number 1? Number 9 kicker. That's weird. Oh, but he also didn't start the year, so he missed the first 3 weeks. So, I mean, there you have it. We've got two very good teams, the two best teams, facing it off in the finals for the Desmond, 60% of the kitty on the line, and it is going to be a great match, one that will actually have to wait till Monday, because the commission will probably have 3 players going in Monday night's game, possibly even 4. So it will be very, very interesting to see what happens. So, with that said, we've got the awards ceremony, which is, it is the February 3rd. So the 4th is the Super Bowl, 3rd is the awards ceremony. Please mark that on your schedule. It'll be probably in the afternoon, which is when it usually is. And we will be looking to award either the first repeat champion, back-to-back champion, also the first 3-peat champion, or a first-time winner, first-time player in Dougie. So it'll be a very exciting one. Please mark it on your calendar. Be here for for the award ceremony. And if you know you're not going to be able to make it, make sure that you reach out to Adam to get your transaction money or your league fees. I don't know who's paid or who hasn't, but those are due. The transaction money needs to be paid in very soon because Indo won't be too happy kind of fronting everyone some loans. So with that said, everyone enjoy your holidays and watch football and root for your favorite team.